The passage for today's meditation is Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 to 16. When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" They replied, "Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets." "But what about you?" he asked. "Who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." In this passage, we see Jesus asking his disciples important questions related to his identity. He starts off in verse 13 by asking his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" So let's understand the context of this passage first. This passage occurs around 2 years into Jesus' public ministry. During these years, the disciples have witnessed Jesus teaching the multitudes, healing the sick, and performing supernatural miracles. During this time, they must have heard and experienced what other people thought about Jesus. And this forms the basis of their reply in verse 14. They reply, "Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets." All these people were mightily used by God in the past, and people believed that they had come back again to life to show the way for the Messiah. Different people had different perceptions of who Jesus was. Maybe some saw in him the quality of John the Baptist, others saw in him the fire and intensity of an Elijah. Maybe some saw in him the lamenting, grieving, broken-heartedness of Jeremiah. But all these answers miss the mark of who Jesus truly is. Throughout history, and even today, many people have different perceptions of who Jesus is. Napoleon said, "I know men, and Jesus is no mere man." Renan, the French atheist, said, "He is the greatest among the sons of men." Mahatma Gandhi has famously said, "To me, he was one of the greatest teachers humanity has ever had." A good person, a great teacher and philosopher, although true, miss the mark of who Jesus really is. And the disciples get it right. Simon Peter, on behalf of the disciples, say, "Jesus, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Jesus is not only a great teacher, a great philosopher, a great miracle worker, but the Messiah, the Savior who has come to take away the sins of this world. This is the question Jesus asks you today. Who is Jesus to you? Jesus might be many things to you, but if he is not the Lord of your life and the only Savior, you are missing the mark. You are missing a life of eternity with him, a life of communion and joy and peace and fulfillment which the world can never provide. I pray that this Lent season will be a time where you seek Jesus and Jesus reveals himself to you. And like the disciples, you will proclaim through your words and deeds that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of the living God.